Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a screen, I have a guitar. So pay attention to this, especially can you cut the highs? Okay. I've been playing and studying music for 45 years, I think. Yeah, but and as I was studying it, I'm still studying it. I realized how close our life, the way you organize yourself in your day-to-day life, and how you organize your harmonic structure of music is almost the same, But and then I kind of started to study what I do in life from music, and the other way around too. So, and by the way, you don't have to be a musician to understand what I'm talking about. It's just basically about life, because music is within life and it's not outside life. Okay, so let's. Having said that, let's just. I'll just play you a note. Okay, now what does it mean? It's just a lonely person somewhere without any point, aimlessly, that can go anywhere. It doesn't make sense. But the moment I play another note with it, very close to it, like for example, from there to there, and the next note or person, and another one. So 3 notes, or in this case, let's imagine 3 people. It begins to make some kind of sense, like familiarity. I've heard those notes or music or whatever. But the problem is, we have to exist simultaneously. We have to coexist in the society. That's what I'm saying, is so close. So let me just play them together. So I play, and I play them together. Sounds awful, sounds disturbing, clashing, and unsoothing, non-musical. Sure. Well, having said non-musical, this is also a part of music, but it's a different aspect of life. We'll talk about it some other time. But let's talk about the beautiful part of music. So if that sounds disturbing, and almost like each note is fighting with each other and saying, I'm the main guy, I'm the boss, I set the rules, and the other one, they have a massive fight there. I can hear it. Who's the boss here? So what's the problem here? They are too close to each other. They're too close for comfort. They're like, if you can see my fretboard, guys, it's like here, right next door. And if you play them together, dissonant, because it's too close to, because it's so many people, I can't see so many people, but if you're sitting too close to each other, you say, hey, man, you got space, why don't you go there? Excuse me. So we need space. So what do we do here? We move the notes further apart. So instead of playing that note here, we go and put the third note, not there, but there. So now, if you play them together again, it sounds like this. Slightly better than this one, and slightly better. But it's still, the degree of dissonance is still there. Now what do we do? So now we got the technique. We do understand we have to be even further apart. Meaning, give each other space and respect, and give our views a chance, and each one can believe in different things, and each one has their own place there, but not on top of each other. But we have to still coexist, so we have to find a way to kind of connect and play them together. So let's just take a series of notes, for example, like this. Some people might call it, it's a scale, doesn't matter, it's just a series of notes, like a ladder with steps. then the moment I play this, let's imagine I played 7 notes or 8 notes. Let's imagine they are people. Each one is a person. It's like a community. It's like a little family that is formed, you know. And without you knowing, certain rules are set. You know what I mean? I'll show you how. Let's just listen to this for a sec. The rules are set, and then someone intrudes. See, it sounds off. It sounds wrong. It's an intruder. What is he doing here? Unless he or she has a special license to enter. That's another technique. That's another aspect of life and harmony. So, the moment you play this series of notes or some group of people, they set rules. Like, in a society we have certain rules. You have to abide by those rules. So what do we do now? So those notes sound fine individually. So what I mean is I play one note and then another one. So the people, like linear, like this. But what if I play them together? Like earlier we found out that we need space for each other, which is a little bit of a problem in this country. There's no place for space. That's a problem because it's so highly populated. Anyway, so what do? Let's take this series of notes, what I just played, and take every other note, leave out this one, leave out the next one, leave out the next one. What did you get? That sounds pretty cool. And go to the second step of the ladder or the major scale or the series of notes and play every other note. That means, and then keep going. So these are what we get from that series of notes. It's like small little families out of the main note of this. So that becomes the head, the boss of the family, and we are like subgroups or like little families out of the main big family. So in this case, this is a root, which is like the title of the family, like Datta or Mukherjee or Sen or Singh or whatever. So like so on. Now let's experiment by playing them together. Individually, it's okay. So let's see the first 4 notes together. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Next one. They still sound fine. So now we just found out that you can still survive or coexist in a group if you maintain some of the techniques and respect each other and give each other space. Exactly like the guitar or harmonic music, if you play 2 notes together, like that, or 3 notes together, sounds dissonant and disturbing, not soothing. But if you space them out, the same exact note sounds fine. But there's a problem. In music, you have to play tunes and melodies. You cannot just play all along. It's like say, okay, you know what? I wrote 4 tunes for you guys. So he said, which is the first song? I said, okay. Oh, okay, that's nice. What's the second song? Oh, okay, now it's sounding the same. What's the third song? Now it's a bit boring. Okay, what's the 4th song? What's going on here? So what we need is variety. Exact same notes, but variety. Maybe. Same exact notes, but if in different combination, different spacings, different time variation, sounds okay. So what we need is understand and study and pay attention to things. You're playing different things, but still within the same parameters of the series of notes that you played. Like that. Similarly, we play those little groups of notes together, which in musical terms we call them chords. again, I cannot keep playing them and say, okay, I wrote a song, another song, and repeat them. So let's just, instead of taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's make a combination, like a different combination, like let's say 3, 6, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So if I play these in like a sounds kind of musical and familiar, sounds almost like a tune. So what we do is, notice here is every time I'm moving from the chord, and the second last chord has the highest tension area. What I mean by tension is it has a tendency to resolve into the root chord, which is the number 1 chord, or the number 1 place, which is the main key center, or the center of the sound, to resolve into that. So tension, release, question, answer. Okay, so what do we do now? But us improvising musicians, harmonic musicians are greedy, and we want to kind of add more tension to it so the resolution sounds sweeter. I mean, I'm not asking you to go and fight with someone to create tension and then make friends with him. So now, it's like, what I mean is, instead of like that, play a chord like this. Tension, release, tension, release. So when you're, in other words, in life, when you're outside the house, maybe half hungry and not being really doing well, and then suddenly come back to your same simple house, your room, your bed feels like, wow, this is like a palace. It's like a couple fighting for 3 days, and then after that they make up. That after the tension period they make up, and the first eye contact feels like heaven, that you want to dwell on that feeling, that emotional feeling. Then you feel, oh, life is good, So the tension, and then you release. Like that. But for that, you have to understand what's going on. Just like in life, in society, you have to understand what is going on, what that your friend or your neighbor is feeling. Am I disturbing him? Am I doing too much? Am I getting into his way? You know what I mean? But if I keep doing this is a great thing, it's the basic, because if you don't have, like every day we wake up with thinking, oh, I have to do the same routine every day, and then I am looking for surprises, which is fine, but unless you do the same basic thing every day, your life the necessities are not met, Surprises are great, but let's talk about surprises. Before that, I'll just play the tension and release and carry on playing till you get bored to death. No, very much so. And I keep going, and it's a good thing, but it's still getting boring. So I need surprise. So I keep bore you a little bit. Surprise. See, there's a different color that comes, different emotional expression. So it's like you're working every day and then you want to go out on a holiday, and then you come back fresh. It's a different color, different emotional expression. So what you do is you bring in variety, surprises. But there's a problem. If I keep going, too many surprises, that gets predictable and boring too. You know what I mean? So what is the best way to get out of that balance? The middle way is the best way, they say, yeah? So, with basically balancing and understanding the emotional content of your music, whether it's music or just living in the society, you have to kind of go deeper and think a little bit deeper and understand what the next person is feeling. So if you play this, it sounds kind of funny, and then you resolve it, then both of them sound good and they have a point to each other. Why should you do that and why should you do this? It's like Miles Davis said once, it's not the note that you're playing, it's the note after that matters. So this note, tension, then that makes it beautiful. So tension and release. And then once in a while surprises. But surprises, if you, like a holiday, if you go to the same destination every time, every year, you get bored of that too. So again you have to change your destination. Then you change your destination and you go holidays every 6 months, you get bored of that and you say, man, I'm tired of these holidays. I want to just chill out, put up my feet, have a drink and watch TV and chill at home. So what you did, you just come back to where you started from. So you know what, this is the cycle of life, music, and this is exactly what we do in music as well. So now I'll tell you a little bit. So I'll try and give you a demo of keeping the sameness, the pattern, which is what we started with, the basics, with the variety. Let's just imagine we have this note, or this person. He's kind of wanted to hang out with a bunch of guys. The bunch of guys is, and he hangs out with them. And then he said, okay, I like the feeling. And then one member of this group leaves and another member joins the same group. But the same guy is there. And then he said, oh, another, maybe two members leave, and then another. And then this guy says, oh, I'm bored now, I've got to move to another place. So he shifts from there to, and he hangs out and meets an entirely new bunch of guys, which is. So now, if you take the whole thing together, this guy has stayed in one place 3 times, and then moved place and stayed there 1 time. So with the other group of guys, see, it begins to sound like a pattern and musical. Then he likes this pattern of staying in that place for some time, then moving on to another place. So he stays in the new place 3 more times, then moves to another place. So now he goes. So now it sounds like that whole pattern, his journey with all these beautiful friends and hanging out with them and little families, he moves. In musical terms, we call them reharmonizing. That means you're taking the note and changing the background, like color filters, like the white light and the filters are changing at the back, green, yellow, blue and red, whatever, and therefore the red light is, or the white light is changing accordingly. But the white light is actually constant. So this is the white light. The filters are these. White light, white light. Change of light because it's getting too boring. So you can see from music how you can feel. I've learned life, about life and the finer senses of life from music, from this. It's a society to me. We live in a society of people. This is the society of notes and time and frets and strings and whatnot. Dynamics and stuff. So what do we do here? It's like understanding the differences and then trying to work out with careful thinking and a little bit of an open-mindedness. You can work out how to coexist, you know. I just harmonized a whole heap of notes. That means people with minor changes here and there, we can coexist, you know. So it's not difficult, but what we have to do is first see where we can work out and what we can do to solve the problem. So unresolved can be resolved. Differences can be made with, but in harmony, you know. So now these notes are at peace with each other. So peace and harmony is possible and coexistence is possible if we do understand how it works, how it functions. So what I've done is studying music and focus in and play music or living together without really only pointing out to the differences and also embracing the differences and enjoying the beauty and admire the different beauties of varied forms is a better life. You know, it's a better life, and it's great to understand, and then peace and harmony comes like the music, and we can coexist together. Coexistence is possible then, harmony and peace, and therefore a better society. I'm a guitar player. My name is Amyt Datta. Thank you for listening to me.